Two of the most electrifying players in college football, Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty. And only one deserves the Heisman Trophy, and that's Travis Hunter. Here's why.
Four up on.
I've been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Niggas bless up on my.
Now, before we start the show, I would like you guys to read these words of encouragement by the great Coach Prime. The reason why I love Deion Sanders, he practices what he preaches. He's a God-fearing man, and for some odd reason, people seem to act like he's some generic thug in the streets, but we know why. Now, this video is not a professional victim video. It's going to debunk the haters on why they hate guys like Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders. Stay tuned, hit the like button. We've seen Deion Sanders give his last statements about not seeing Shiloh, Shedeur, and his adopted son Travis Hunter play any longer at Boulder, Colorado.
That's tough. I didn't really think about it until, you're watching the last seconds tick off the clock. Like, dang, this is it. This is it. Like that. You know how long this journey's been. Like with me and my kids, it's been a lot of ups and downs and in and outs and things you guys don't know about that we've overcome. Been a lot of adverse situations, a lot of highlights, man. It's been unbelievable to think that that's the conclusion of the matter just here. That's tough. That's tough.
We've seen heartfelt moments that shown us how Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders' relationship is deeper and bigger than football. It's really a mutual love and affection, sort of like Travis Hunter's very first college football game. Now, Travis Hunter, a two-way sports star. His athleticism, his IQ on the defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball, you basically get to see the stamina that has not been seen before. He has played every snap on offense and defense. The historic numbers speak for it themselves. Travis Hunter is averaging over 117.7 snaps per game this year. I mean, when you look at it, Travis Hunter had over 125 snaps versus UCF, 123 snaps versus Colorado State. He had over 44 snaps versus Kansas State prior to the injury. Arizona, he had over 116. Oregon State, 118. Nebraska, 125 snaps. TCU, 140 snaps. And if that wasn't even clearer who Travis Hunter is, he broke a record against Stanford for well over 149 snaps. And that was a Colorado Buffaloes record as well. Now, I want all of you guys watching to understand how rare it is to see a player like Travis Hunter caliber to perform on what he's performing. We haven't seen it since the likes of Charles Woodson, but I have many other guys to show you who we haven't seen it from since. Well, YouTube family, let's meet Charles Woodson, the very first defensive player to ever win the Heisman, and boy, did he win it in nothing but stellar fashion.
This is e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one.
Incomplete. It was Charles Woodson coming on the blitz. Washington State was Woodson all the way back to the 22-yard line. Woodson's got one block, and another block. One more, and he's gone. Touchdown.
We have to be honest when grading the Charles Woodson Heisman candidacy year, because if you look at Travis Hunter's situation, It tells you he surpassed it, even Charles Woodson. Phenomenal Heisman campaign, which he beat the Peyton Manning for the Heisman Trophy award. But when you're looking at the stats of Charles Woodson versus Travis Hunter's stats as a sophomore alone, it doesn't compare. And I love Charles Woodson, but let's look at it and break it down. The stats that you're watching right now is Travis Hunter's sophomore year versus Charleston Woodson Heisman campaign season. Since Hunter is a unique player as a two-way player, I do not think you can directly compare him to Jeanty, and there is not a wide receiver or cornerback this year which is even comparable to the Heisman hype which Travis Hunter has gained. For comparison to the winners, Hunter's stats so far are so much interceptions compared to Charleston Woodson, over 31 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 forced fumble, 82 catches for over 1,036 yards receiving, 11 receiving touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. Meanwhile, if we're being honest, Charles Woodson in 97 had 7 interceptions, which he did better defensively than a Travis Hunter, but let's continue. But he did not play every snap count like a Travis Hunter, but we can't take away from Charles Woodson's greatness. Now, he had 43 tackles, almost similar to the amounts of tackles that Travis had. He had 1 sack, 11 catches for 231 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 punt return. Now, they lost their minds for that type of stats. Now, when we look at Tim Brown, he had 39 catches, 846 receiving yards, 144 touchdowns. Desmond Howard, 950 yards. Shout out to Michigan. You guys got a lot of great players. Let's keep going. Devontae Smith, when he had 117 catches for 1,856 yards and 23 receiving touchdowns, which was phenomenal. Now, when you look at that and you exclude the fact that Travis Hunter played two-way and he balled out playing two-way, respectively as a cornerback and respectively as a receiver. And I love a coach who stands for his players, like how Deion even couldn't stand it anymore, how we're playing around who's really the Heisman. So Deion finally just stopped dancing around and he let the world know that Travis Hunter, not Jeanty, is the Heisman winner.
Clinch. I think Travis clinched the Heisman. Thank you, God, for stopping me. Because I almost said something. I think Travis clinched the Heisman with his performance. I think he made a lot of people aware of how ignorant there was with the Thorpe. His performance today, what he had, 3 touchdowns, 100 yards, and an interception. And 2 passes broken up. Should have had another pick. Hit him right in the darn chest. I'm not happy about that, but I'm happy with him.
I knew I was witnessing something that I will never witness again in college football history.
Travis Hunter is the best player in college football.
Man, he is a one of one.
On both sides of the ball, this brother is special.
I mean, Travis Hunter is the best college football player in the country.
Touchdown! Get him the Heisman now!
He's not just out there taking the snaps. He's dominating the game.
He is a game breaker, and he changes the game, whether he's on offense or defense. To me, he's the guy to beat for the Heisman.
We're witnessing something that may never happen again.
And there is no player that is even in the hemisphere of Travis Hunter.
Let's not forget other two-way players who people are trying to use this as an excuse as far as Travis is not the only one who did what he has done. But let's look at this anomaly of other two-way players who have not reached the pinnacle of a Travis Hunter. Guys like Shaq Thompson, a brolic defensive back and running back for Washington. He also was a great, phenomenal baseball player. He currently plays as a linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, but he was a two-way sports star.
Shaq Thompson has it. And the ball is out. Goff lost it. Shaq Thompson. And Shaq Thompson's going to score.
You got fascinating individuals such as Jabrill Peppers, that is, from Michigan University. Now, Jabrill Peppers, I remembered when he played, he was a Swiss Army knife. He played running back, linebacker, defensive back, and he was a top pick in the NFL draft because they could have explored his athleticism. Then there were favorites like mine. He's from my hometown of Broward County, Florida, Chris Gamble. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Gamble was Travis Hunter. No disrespect to Charles Woodson, but the one who was closest to Travis Hunter was Chris Gamble. This guy was phenomenal, from Broward County, Florida, Dillard High School, Florida. Now, many of the college football haters, such as Colorado football haters, do not remember the great Chris Gamble. Now, this guy should have been one of the marquee favorites to win the Heisman. Let's look at some of his career.
Mills rolls to the left. Fires, intercepted at the 39-yard line. Picked off by Gamble. Chris Gamble, touchdown on the interception. Hello, Charles Woodson. Now give me the ball on offense. And the Buckeye defense this time. Got Will Smith moving around in a three-man front. Mills rolls to the left. Fires, intercepted at the 39-yard line. Picked off by Gamble. Chris Gamble, touchdown on the interception. At that spot, former wide receiver, return man, did it all on special teams. And a guy that you could argue was one of their most valuable players because of both sides of the ball, what he accomplished. At times, he'll lose sight of the football.
Now, Chris Gamble, he went almost through the same thing that Travis Hunter went through. He played against my Miami Hurricanes, the pass interference. We remember what happened with that. We don't want to get into that. But there was a lot of haters like Mel Kiper. You know, ESPN always had agendas against defensive players who can play on offense, who could be deserving of the Heisman candidacy. But they've always been on an agenda against players who are on the defensive side winning it because it's not savvy. It's not such as the Peyton Mannings, like, because they never forgave Charles Woodson for winning the Heisman over the media darling Peyton Manning. So what happened on draft day was Mel Kiper, before draft day and 2 weeks prior it, on a campaign, relentless campaign to make Chris Gamble look like, because he played offense as well, he couldn't start in the NFL, and it would have taken 3 years to get ready for the NFL. But Chris Gamble would start the first day of the NFL.
The risk, though, is he doesn't have a special player. The risk, though, is he doesn't react to the coaching. He doesn't develop into a corner. So it is a roll of the dice pick, Chris, to a certain extent. I thought Cincinnati may go that route. They went instead running back. This physical, aggressive player that you'll ever find. So I think tackle there, but he's not the most physical, aggressive player that you'll ever find. So I think people look at him as a guy who needs to develop. In the NFL now, you're looking for the guys who can come right in and be starters. With Chris Gamble, Carolina has to be patient, work him in, coach him up, and in 2 or 3 years, you may have something that's a little bit better than average. You may have a special player.
To listen to Mel Kiper lie about Chris Gamble, I know Chris Gamble in real life. He has never been subjected to be listed as a player who has problems listening to his coaches. Who told Mel Kiper this? Because Jim Fossil was a great coach who joviated about Chris Gamble. Chris Gamble's football coach at Dillard High School joviated about him, and all the coaches who have ever coached Chris Gamble never said he was a headache. But yet again, like Stephen A. Smith, ESPN and their agendas and their unnamed sources to try to traumatize a young man going through the draft process. But Chris Gamble is from Florida. He will prevail and show that the media heads who don't want to give Travis Hunter the Heisman, who are critiquing him, and guys like Richard Sherman saying he can't play the position or X, Y, and Z. This is what Chris Gamble did on his first day in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen.
I was raised in Colorado. Thomas, Northern Illinois University.
Damon Lewis, University of Miami. Julius Peppers, University of North Carolina.
Niall Biggs, B, Ohio State.
John Beeson, you already know.
James Hanson, Virginia Tech.
Chris Gamble, D, Ohio State.
Chris
by Gamble. Second down, Breeze, good protection, intercepted by Gamble. Still on his feet across the 30, the 40, run out of bounds at midfield.
That's right. Chris Gamble balled out. In fact, he had 6 interceptions his rookie year. Contrary to what Mel Kiper was telling the people about how weak Chris Gamble is and he can't adapt, it's going to take him 3 years or more, he balled out his first day. He is currently Carolina Panthers' leader in interceptions, but this is what you have to deal with guys like Mel Kiper and ESPN, who will be gradually covering the Heisman Trophy ceremony today. That's why I'm dressed like this. Now, listen to Chris Gamble himself dispute these claims as far as his aura. He doesn't say it, but his aura clearly shows you he's a leader in the NFL.
Back there at the safety spot,
yeah,
and kind of bringing the lumber like you did.
You know, Harris was like the leader back there. He was always talking and things like that. So I feel like it's my time this year, to step up and, be a leader and just do a little bit of talking.
I mean, look who Travis Hunter coach was. Deion Sanders, who brought a program to relevancy. The fact that he made Miss Peggy B one of the most prominent figures in college football, it speaks volume to when I echo the segment and sentiments of this is bigger than football. It's deeper than football. It's because it's about the people in the community that are invested into this sport that's called football.
Well, I don't know that I can explain what it's meant. It's been unbelievable to me. And he's given it, our whole community in the university, all of this attention because of him. And he's a very, very honorable man. And I am just grateful for it. And I just, each day I get him, I think this is all unbelievable. So that's what he is, kind of unbelievable.
I have one final question for Miss Peggy. Which bowl do you want to go to?
Well, I'll take anything they give us.
Now, many of these people were the same people trying to tell me that Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck were way better than Shedeur Sanders. Let's never forget that part. I hope you guys never forget how much hatred they have for people who are affiliated with Colorado. They would take a 4th-round scrub quarterback like Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers and put them over Shedeur just because of hatred. You don't believe me about hatred? It's one thing for Travis Hunter not to win the Thorpe Award for the best defensive back in the nation. There's a lot of great players who play defensively in college football. That has always been a given. But not to name him as a finalist had furthermore shown you who these group of people are. But yet you want me to believe these group of individuals are the ones who get the oversight on college football issues, and that there lies the problem when these awards become players of the moment awards, meaning that who you like, not who perform better. Now, the group of people you're watching are the playoff committee. They're no different than the people and voters who select these winners for these glorious awards. These committee don't even look like they even watch college football. Where's the chips at? Where's the nachos and the cheese? Now, let's get back to regularly scheduled programming. I've seen the embarrassment for Ashton Jeanty. It's one thing for a coach to let a player be known as their guys or the best guys, but most of Ashton Jeanty's supporters are people pretending he's some type of professional victim. Look at this tier work done by his head coach of Boise State to choose him as the Heisman Trophy winner.
And I tell people when they ask me, just watch the tape, watch the film. Watch the film. Let that decide, because who he is on the field, he's even a better person off the field, and that's what nobody sees. That's the story that I want to make sure everybody knows. Watch him. Regardless what the time is, come watch Boise State football. And we want to do things different. We're built different, and led by number 2. Not only is the best football player in the country, he's an elite human being.
No matter what it is, no matter, what the defense does, I'm going to do what I do, work hard, earn every single yard that I can. It's all about the connection. Each and every single one of us, we love each other. We're willing to do anything for this team, and that will take us further than anything else. We're one of the best teams in the nation, and we're going to continue to prove that week after week.
Now, Ashton Jeanty, he did an incredible job in the college football season this year. But is it the norm, or is it something so spectacular that we haven't seen before? I'm here to debunk that.
Jeanty now has the best odds to win the Heisman. Jeanty plus 225, Travis Hunter plus 320, Cam Ward plus 900, Jalen Milroe plus 1,000.
Well, I mean, hold on now. Wait a minute. Let's wait a minute. Jalen Milroe, do things change now that they've lost?
They just factor that in.
Now, I'm not trying to come at Ashton Jeanty, but we've seen this story before. We've seen guys like Melvin Gordon, Kevin Smith, Marcus Allen, and even the great Barry Sanders. But it's like, guys, we've seen this get repeated over and over. Those other guys didn't get to win the Heisman. What made Ashton Jeanty's story so much different than a Travis Hunter, or dare I say, better than Travis Hunter's season? You see, a lot of people who don't like Deion Sanders, don't like the Colorado program. As I've said earlier in the season, guys are going to get penalized for being associated with Deion Sanders, because for Deion Sanders to have greatness and have people attached to him also being great, it shows the end of an era, the end of an era of overrated male coaches who do not qualify for the job. But because of the complexion for protection, people make excuses for these coaches. They're not a Nick Saban. They're not the greatness of a Bear Bryant. They're a Les Miles. They're a Dabo Sweeney. Overrated coaches who time have overlapped this mediocre excuse such as experience. Experience that was thrown upon us as something so great, but yet a Deion Sanders in only his second year has debunked everything, that it's not experience that beats the so-called college game. It's the IQ and knowing how to play. And Deion Sanders is a Hall of Fame worthy coach. So now when football talent such as NFL talents like a Deion Sanders can come into the Power 4, Power 5, Power 6 and take over and revolutionize the football game, it gets guys afraid of jobs and afraid of change. I mean, if we're being honest, Ashton is tied with Army's quarterback Bryson Daly for touchdowns. Like, think about that. He's tied with a quarterback for touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. Please. I mean, if we're being honest here, every single back on this list right here has done these records with less amount of carries versus Ashton and his Boise State Mountain West weak opponents that he played against. If we're being honest, let's use the same metrics as why you guys said Kevin Smith couldn't win the Heisman, Melvin Gordon couldn't win the Heisman. Let's use the same metric voting scale if we're gonna say Ashton is the Heisman over a Travis Hunter. So basically, in a nutshell, he's not even the third back to do this so-called joviating and praising Ashton's name as the greatest ever to do it. But I just shown you guys clearly he's not the only one to do what he has done. And there has been other guys who have done this, but the media and the voters have chosen to ignore them. So what makes this year different for Ashton Jeanty versus the likes of a Kevin Smith, a Melvin Gordon? Now, the thing I can say about Ashton and Travis, they're both great character individuals. They both spoke high volume praise about each other, and they both made good argument as far as why they each deserve the Heisman Trophy.
Football. Oh, you're the best player in college.
I think he's the best player in college football.
Oh, you're the best player in college
football.
football.
So where the Heisman Trophy go to?
Best player in college football.
All right. Well, I don't know who was there. I mean, y'all see Ashton Jeanty, but it's not like we haven't seen a running back that's good. We haven't seen a player that plays both ways, and I'm gonna keep saying that. It's like he have 95 carries for 1,000
yards. Yeah.
Oh. If I had 95 catches on offense, what you think I would have? He got double the touches I got on the offensive side of the ball, and I still have defensive stats. I got a whole stat sheet on both sides of the ball. So if you seen somebody do this, and if you think this gonna happen again, then I guess I agree with you, putting me in the bad situation, and not letting me get the Heisman, but.
You're in the heat of competition right now. Travis Hunter, the best two-way player on the planet. Ashton Jeanty, the best running back in the world. I seen Travis make a couple comments online. I don't know if you've seen it, it was recent. He like, man, listen, he got 95 carries right now, he got that much. If I had 95 catches, I mean, how many yards would I have?
I mean, kudos to Travis. Like, he balling for real. Like, he doing some stuff we ain't never seen nobody do. Personally, I don't take no offense to it. Like, he just speaking his opinion. You know, everybody got an opinion. For me, is what I've been doing has been done in 36, 37 years.
Long time.
So that's something special. If I keep that up and, you know, break a record that's been around for 36 years, then I feel like you can't really compete with that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
if the Heisman Trophy was to be awarded today, who you think winning it? You or Travis Hunter?
Me, for sure. You know I gotta say me.
Travis balling, bruh.
He is balling, but I just feel like what I'm doing is it's just too special, you know? I watch Travis, I watch his games, like, incredible player. Like, I've never seen people do what he's doing. But I know myself, I know my talents. I feel like I'm the best player in college football.
The game. Jeanty and Tyler Crow in at running back. Here's Jeanty following his blockers, keeping his feet, and in for his 4th touchdown of the game.
So let's talk about the Troy Edwards comparison. There seems to be a lot of haters of Travis Hunter because of his affiliations with Colorado football and his brotherhood with Deion Sanders. But let's just be honest about Troy Edwards. Look at the comparisons that I'm showing you guys here. One guy played every snaps, averaged over 117 snaps a game. The other played one way, but no one took that into consideration. They'll use anything to combat against guys who play for Colorado. For one, Troy Edwards, he wasn't in a power conference. He didn't play quality competitions for most of the year. These are the same attributes to Jeanty and why he shouldn't win the Heisman Trophy at all. If we're being more further honest, Jeanty played in the Mountain West Conference. I've seen the same guys who criticize Travis Hunter, Shedeur, and Deion Sanders and that beautiful group of men that Colorado Buffalo has. They got denigrated for playing a close battle against the great North Dakota State. I was told over and over they barely played a good against a trash team, but yet they moved the goalposts for Jeanty playing during the Mountain West competition. I mean, even Ashton Jeanty's backup running backs both each average 7.8 yards a carry and 6.1 yards a carry respectively. And let's just be honest, if Jeanty didn't have the offensive line that he had at Boise State and playing mediocre talent that he plays, we can honestly use his backup running backs as more given reasons that he has a stellar group of offensive linemen, which doesn't get talked about or taken into the consideration for the process in which he's averaging all these yards. Now, the scouts took notice to what I just took claim to. If you notice, the NFL scouts have propelled many of the offensive linemen at Boise State, from one of them being taken as a late 5th round pick, the other as a 4th round pick, and they have 2 of them as a late 2nd round pick, which are great for offensive linemen in the NFL, because in the NFL, if you can play, it doesn't matter where you get drafted, you will stick in the NFL through the longevity of the process. So it's fair to say he has a great group of protectors. Now, we have to stop being prisoners of the moment and living in that type of situation, because I wrote it here to give some of you people who are not real football aficionado like us, look at the Barry Sanders situation. Like, just pay attention to it, because it's being overhyped here. Now, Barry Sanders' 1988 season, he had 2,628 yards while having 37 rushing yards, touchdowns in 11 games of the regular season. then one bowl game, which put him at 2,850 yards and 42 touchdowns for the year. But none of that gets talked about in consideration. It's almost like everybody are pretending that what Ashton Jeanty is doing is so brand new and we haven't seen it for so long. But we just brought up the names of a Kevin Smith, a Melvin Gordon. Let's stop living prisoners of the moment. Because you have a hatred of Deion Sanders, you are going to denigrate and penalize the true stellar face of college football, which is Travis Hunter. Now, to share some more facts, look at these other running backs here who had similar yards to Ashton Jeanty, if not better, and you tell me the difference of something we've never seen before. We need to really stop it. Now, we can't stop the haters, but there's many haters who do not like Travis Hunter, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about people who don't watch football, but they watch race, and let me show you to where I'm going with this. For instance, you got this hater over here who clearly thinks that Travis Hunter only gets his interceptions because of Hail Mary and that he only exclusively plays wide receiver. These people watch race. They do not watch the game at all. Here is proof that Travis Hunter does not get interceptions on Hail Marys only. I mean, clearly the guy is a ball hawk. He jots the ball, he narrows it down, he zero ends on it and completes the interception. Where was the Hail Mary?
3rd and 12. Play action. Looking down the sideline. Jump ball, and Hunter breaks that one up.
It's a no-no.
Jefferson's pass is
20 yards to catch. But this guy's ball skills, they're just different. Like you are.
And Holstig, very, very experienced on the slant. Travis Hunter makes a jump and intercepts it. The two-way star, who is so embarrassed he lost, makes a big play.
Chris, he shows man pre-snap and then comes off of it. Completely confuses Garbers. Garbers thinks he's going to stay out here. Instead, he comes off of it, plays zone, great disguise. Now, I don't know if he secured the football, but what a play in baiting Garbers to throw that football.
Let's see if the ground aided in the recovery. It was such a bullet.
Don't have your athletic ability and what he can do.
Those have
the athletic ability and what he can do.
Those have a big arm, which he hasn't had to showcase much. Zips it along the sidelines, and it's intercepted by Travis Hunter. The second pick for the two-way star.
And what I mean about these haters don't watch football, they watch race. Look at this so-called doctor, what he said. Who has had a season as a wide receiver or cornerback like Hunter? About 100 guys, which is a lie. Clearly, we went over the unique status and anomaly that Travis Hunter is. There only has been a handful of guys who have been two-way stars, but only one like Travis Hunter who has done what he has done and played in the amount of snaps that he has played. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. These are some of the reasons why they don't like Travis Hunter and they don't want him to win. They already took the Thorpe Award away from him. Now, that's not why I was mad because he didn't win the Thorpe Award. They didn't even let Travis Hunter be a finalist for the award. Therefore, when I seen guys like Brock Huard, who was a mediocre quarterback at Washington University and in the NFL, his brother was the better quarterback. But let's fast forward to see him go on Fox and announce that Jeanty should be the Heisman. I mean, these guys are supposed to be unbiased and supposed to give only a fair, balanced analysis on the situation, but they're clear sheer biasness towards Deion Sanders and hate towards anything that comes from, I guess you can call Colorado, the new ghetto of college football. It makes them uncomfortable. So now all these guys have to pretend that they're the biggest Boise State fan, as if we didn't see Boise State win many games years before Ashton Jeanty came through. Boise State has always been an elevated program, much like a Gonzaga for basketball. Boise State is one of those small schools that have always been in the limelight of things. Let's not be brand new to it because you don't really follow football, you follow race. Let's be honest, America loves Ashton Jeanty not just because he's great, but because he's the safe choice. We know what choice that is. Meanwhile, Travis Hunter gets hate not for what he does off the field or on the field, merely because what he stands for. And what he stands for is for Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders' unapologetic nature, his swagger, his composure, his confidence, that makes college football uncomfortable because Deion Sanders' ability to disrupt traditional styles of coaching of college football has been a problem that's been echoed amongst a group of men who have been sticking to code because young black men such as Deion Sanders has dared to change things, and changing things is a problem in America. And Hunter, he's the face of that change. He's the new generation. Meet the new caliber of player that doesn't chuck and jive and they know who they are. See, when it comes to Travis Hunter, he should be celebrated, but he's criticized more than celebrated simply for who he's affiliated with and being unapologetically bold to stand in the face as a lion and say, I am nobody's chuckling Chuck. Now, Ashton Jeanty is a great college player, but let's not pretend that this is something we've never seen before. I've shown you we've seen this over and over again, running backs like Ashton Jeanty. We're accustomed to this. But let's not look at the things and see the culture shift that Deion and Travis Hunter has brought to college football. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I need you not to be biased. You've went all over the tapes I have shown you with nothing but clear evidence and proof. Now, I stand firm. As Travis losing the throw-up award, we can clearly see these committees have something to hold against these men. But to penalize a young man who have given his everything to this game, this gladiator game of football, Gladiator 2 with Denzel Washington has just came. We know what men and women have done when they enter these coliseum that have been known as football stadiums, that is. They lay their life on the line. Not that I can compare it to the military like I was in, because military members need more respect than what we're giving. But when we see these football players get on that field and give their all, then that reward of getting these trophies, even it might be seeming like a court gesture of things, these are something that they've earned on that field, the battlefield of football, that is. Not that I'm comparing it to the military, but there seems to be a missing honor and tactic that came to these things. It was not supposed to be based upon race, your biasness, on how you feel about how someone carried themselves, their characters that may not be aligned with yours. This is a title about best football player. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your guy, DJ Blessone, the best one. Never forget, this will always be bigger than football and deeper than football. Love your family, love your kids, and stay blessed, people.